just going to record myself making a cat head, and I've already done part of it. I just finally decided to go ahead and use some cat heading. So anyway, it's fun. Not really going to go in much detail. Just kind of
thing in the house.
get it done.
There's more to Scarlet than Harley's and Thars. Life is life, whatever cruel shape it takes. However many legs or eyes it has. That thing is ugly. Throw it into the lake because I'm telling you, it isn't coming home with us. We evolved from creatures, not necessities, over millions of years. Become what we are now. Maybe in another million years, we'll evolve back again. Maybe some of us have already started.
You wanted to see me, Colonel?
Oh, please, close that blasted tent flap, Captain. You're letting out all the warm air.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
I've received a communique from Central Command. Brief, to the point.
Not bad news, I hope, sir.
Perhaps not.
Sir?
The substance of the message is that I've been relieved of my duties, with immediate effect. And at this moment, you are the senior officer in charge. Major Broken.
Surely there must be... Major? Did you say Major?
With responsibility comes promotion. Someone has to do the job. You're next in line. Well done.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. I mean, it comes as a complete surprise. You'll be sorely missed, of course.
I shouldn't think so.
Absolutely, Colonel. You're very highly thought of by the men.
What I mean is, the shortcoming is a complete surprise. Not when your reports to Central Command have been instrumental in making it happen in the first place.
I'm not sure I understand. There must be some mistake.
And the mistake is on your side. Obviously, those reports have been relayed to me from Command Headquarters.
So they were confidential. Central Command had no right...
Health problems, it says here. Erratic behavior. Which particular kind of erratic behavior is that?
You're not well, Colonel Mascot. You haven't been well for some considerable time. I couldn't continue to ignore what was becoming quite obvious to everyone. I had no alternative but to go on your way.
Before your ailing colonel ordered any more summary executions.
It wasn't my wish to embarrass you, sir. Nor was I seeking advancement for myself. My only concern is for the welfare of those to whom I have a responsibility. With respect, sir, that includes you.
You acted in good faith.
I did, sir. I'm glad you see it that way.
And if it's any consolation that our position's been reversed, I'll do the same thing.
I'll arrange an escort home for you, sir. No doubt you'll want to be reunited with your family as soon as possible.
That won't be necessary.
So, what are you doing?
Take my pistol. You will discharge your final responsibility to me where we stand. Single shot to the head. Your duty's done.
No!
Military protocol, Major.
No, I won't do it!
You would deny me the chance of an honorable death on the field of battle.
You'll have to kill yourself. I'm not going to do it for you.
You've already started. You might at least have the decency to finish the job. From a gift of the commanding officer to end the life of a dying soldier if that dying soldier so wishes.
I choose not to exercise that gift, Colonel. You're ill, but you could live for weeks or months, possibly years. Think about your wife, your children. I'm not going to take that time away from your family. One way or another, the killing has to stop. Give me your pistol.
Don't worry, Major Broden. I'm not going to commit suicide. It'll make it too easy for you.
I don't want extra lessons, Mother. I didn't ask for them. I don't need them. Especially from Magdalene. He irritates me.
He speaks very highly of your talents. I've gone to great lengths to arrange it all, and I do think you're being a little bit ungrateful. Magrantine is a busy man who has many calls on his time, some of them from the council. He doesn't give extra curricular lessons to everyone.
I don't think he gives them to anyone.
As it happens, Tashek, he did offer to provide his services without charge, a measure of his regard for my clever boy. I declined. It's enough that he's prepared to help Davros in such a generous way.
I don't want his help. I don't want anyone's help. I just want to be left alone.
Oh, nonsense. You spend too much time on your own. The boy of should be interacting more with people outside his own family, developing his social skills, not disappearing to the lake whenever my back is turned. It isn't healthy.
I think Davros is being very ungrateful. I wouldn't refuse extra lessons.
Maybe wasted on you. Well, give them to her mother. If Yarvel's so keen, let her have them.
Yes, that would be an interesting solution. However, your brother's right, my sweet. It would be wasted on you. You're hardly destined for a future of academic excellence.
Calcula, that's a terrible thing to say. You could give Yarvel a bit more encouragement. She is your only daughter.
Davros is my only son. 2 more children than you have, Tashek. I'll bring them up as I see fit, and not as you'd wish me to bring them up. They are, after all, my flesh and blood.
Oh, yes, your flesh and blood, Calcula. I've no doubt of that. But they won't be children for much longer. Yarvel is going to climb through the ranks of the academy, and Davros won't be far behind. It's a pity you're not at home more to watch them growing into adults.
I think you've said enough.
Not quite enough, I think. I've held my tongue too often in the past when better to speak out. You may be a powerful woman in the world of politics, Calcula. Not here. Not in the house of Nazgard, where you are expected to be a wife and mother first. Politicians second.
We are at war, Tashek, or perhaps you haven't noticed. Hiding away from the real world, still playing at house, while the rest of us try to stop Scarrow from falling into chaos.
Shut up.
Why are you arguing?
Shut up, all of you.
Davros, I won't be spoken to like that.
There's a military heat cruiser outside. Can't you hear it?
Yes, Father!
Councillor Quested. This is an unexpected surprise. Do come in. My laboratory is at your disposal.
Tell me, Magritine, you've made a special study of nuclear fission. You probably understand the subject better than most. The potential, the risks, the dangers.
There's a great deal yet to be learned. That much I can tell you.
What would be the immediate consequences of a nuclear strike on the city?
What are you suggesting?
Answer me, Magritine.
Total devastation. Buildings would be razed to the ground, thousands of people killed by the blast of the heat.
Of course, if you guys do have any questions, just leave it in the chat.
Those who survived would face the unnamed
see
perils
what-
of radioactive fallout. Sickness, disease, starvation, worse.
But there would be survivors.
Some perhaps. In all the experiments I've conducted to test the effect of radiation on living organisms, the result has been the same. Death. None has survived the radiation chamber for long.
Step up your experiment, Magritine. I'd like to see this radiation chamber of yours.
Consider it done, Councillor. You're standing inside it even as we speak.
What? You should have warned me.
It isn't programmed and can only be activated from the other side of the door. It's quite safe. I'm understanding you, I say with the basement.
I've taken up too much of your time. Let me know about those experiments as soon as possible.
Sit down, Nazgard. You're exhausted. If I'd known, I could have prepared a meal for us all to celebrate.
No, Tashek, you didn't know. The only one who knew was me. That's not entirely true. Yes, I've explained.
Major Brogan, not captain anymore? You've been forced to retire, haven't you, Nazgard? Your health has finally let you down.
Calculate isn't as bad as they're trying to make it look.
Are you dying, Father? Will you be dead soon?
Davros!
Your brother speaks his mind, Yarvel. His honesty is refreshing. Don't concern yourself, my boy. I've plenty of fighting me yet. Save your strength, Colonel. There's nothing to be achieved by pretending that your health is better than it is. For you, the war is over.
Well, for the rest of us, it goes on.
I trust that I'll see an end to it in my lifetime.
Your blind faith is touching, Major. Unless we gain a tactical advantage over the Thals, nothing is going to change. You and your soldiers will still continue to perish.
War will be won by politicians, not by soldiers.
I disagree. The war will be won by scientists, psychological developments.
Asgard has come home, Calcula. Your husband has come home to his family. Can you not have this discussion at a more suitable time?
Very well, Tasha. If it makes you happy, you and I can have a discussion about trivial domestic arrangements while we do the dishes. You wash and dry.
I should go, Colonel. You and your family will have much to talk about.
You must stay, Major Brogan. It's late. The journey back tonight will be hazardous.
Yarvel is right, Major. Stay. It'll be safer to return in the morning. I'm sure that Asgard and Calcula won't mind.
Why should we mind? It's an excellent suggestion. I'm sure that Asgard and the Major will also have much to talk about.
You're very generous. Thank you. If you'll excuse me, I'd better sit again, please.
I'll help you.
Tashek and I will do the domestic thing and organize a spare room for our guest.
You made your point, Calcula. Welcome home, Asgard.
Have you nothing to say to your father, Davros? You're not usually this quiet.
I didn't expect to see you again, Father. I thought you might be killed in battle. Don't all soldiers die in battle?
Not all of them, my boy. Death isn't inevitable for a soldier.
Mother says that the war will be won by scientists. I'm going to be a scientist.
You're going to be a soldier, Davros. Like your father. Like your grandfather. Like his father before him. And so no more talk of science. Your mother doesn't understand. You should strive for what you want to do. Not what she wants you to do.
Thank you for
How do
letting
you
me know, Major.
make a fluffy
For you,
cat?
Davros. It was your
Apart from
father's
the fluffy.
wish that I chose. To tell you the truth, I would have preferred to say someone else.
He isn't an evil man.
It does terrible things to good people. Drives us to extremes of behavior and emotion.
And sometimes the best. It's not all bad. Good people can still do good things.
Very wise for someone so young.
I'm young. I'm 18. Almost 19. Almost a woman. How old are you?
25. Almost 26.
I'm young. I'm a major.
In my line of work, promotion can be rapid and sudden. It's a miracle your father was alive. He's lucky. Lucky. He lives in such a beautiful place. The air is clean. You can see focus and Omega Mysterium up there.
The moon's always around us indeed.
Through a chemical haze. Like this. It's bright and clear. You can almost reach up and pluck it from the sky. Yes, I think it will. I know it will. Something to understand.
When poisoning is mine against me, Calcula.
Oh, don't be a fool. The only poison is what you've been breathing in for the last 20 years. Poison that's killing you. Anyone with more self-respect would have given into it by now.
I'm not here because I want to be. I was given no choice.
Pathetic. Of course you were given a choice. You could have asked Major Brogan to shoot you through the head. Military protocol.
He refused to do it.
Refused? Oh, what sorts of men are being recruited to the military elite nowadays? I must have words with him. You have rights. It's outrageous that he didn't kill you.
Much liberal parenting, but little discipline. That's why Davros will serve his time in the academy and then pursue a military career. I won't have him get into bad ways.
And I won't have him sacrificing a futile effort to end the war.
We fight to win, Calcula.
To win what? To achieve what? Without the war, we would be nothing. The Kharat race would be nothing. This family would be nothing. You and I would be nothing. We depend on the war for our continued existence. It gives us meaning, purpose, a reason to live.
We fight to win, not to keep things as they are.
Still awake, Davros?
You're arguing about me, Tashek. I could hear them.
We're discussing plans for your future. I don't want you to what's best for you. Lie down and try and get some sleep.
They never argue about Yarvel.
Yarvel's future is more stable with yours. She knows what's expected.
But I also know what's expected of me. My future is decided. I've decided.
That's the difference between you, Davros. Yarvel
received your message, Councillor Cresty.
The situation is grave. All members of the House of Congress are being recalled to the city for a crisis meeting tomorrow.
What has happened?
It's what is likely to happen if we're unable to negotiate with the Thals.
Negotiate, Councillor. Has it really come to that?
Bring your family, Calcula. You must know that they're safe.
My husband is ill,
Nurse Gilman is with you.
and Major Brogan.
I see. Tell the Major to report to me in person as soon as you reach the city tomorrow.
Yes, Councillor, as you wish. Good night.
Good morning, Yavel. You look very handsome in your uniform. Don't you think so, Major?
She does indeed, Colonel. Quite distinguished.
Quite the young woman.
Father.
I want everyone to know that I'm proud of you. My little girl in the military youth. It's a great pity that Davros doesn't share your enthusiasm for soldiering.
Leave the boy alone, Asgard. He'll come round to it in his own time. You mustn't push him.
I was going to give him these, Yavel. In the circumstances, perhaps you'd appreciate them more than your brother would. Look after them for me.
No, Father, I can't. They're yours. You must keep them. You'll wear them again soon when the war is over. Tell him, Tashek.
Do as he asks, Yavel. You know how stubborn he is.
Keep them until I return from the city.
No. That's it. Okay.
Thank you. It isn't too late for you and Tashek to come with us.
After his long journey yesterday, your father is too ill to travel again just yet. I'll look after him. We'll be all right here.
It's time you go, Yavel. Your father's medal, son. Good on you.
We can't leave without Mother and Davros. Don't be so impatient, Major.
What did I say, Tasha? Quite the young woman.
I thought I'd find you here, Davros. Say goodbye to the lake, because we must go on our way. Well, come along, there's no time to lose.
Like, maybe I had some like long hair strand situation real quick, just to kind
Pick
of
up dead birds. Get
see
rid
what
of
I'm
before
looking
catch
at,
some
you know.
sort of disease.
Exactly was. What disease? It was flying one man next to his head.
You probably died of old age.
Nothing dies of old age or scarlet.
No, no,
It was a young bird. I think it was contaminated. Poison or chemicals in the air.
that's
Air is clean here, you know that.
It must have flown many miles from where the air isn't clean. It's coming closer. Soon the air will be poisoned.
All the more reason to stay away from her. We must go now. And please, throw the diseased remains of that flying pest away. Really, Davros. You seem quite determined to disobey me.
How was he? Weakening, Councillor, often in pain, occasionally irrational, clearly unfit to command. And it gave me no pleasure to write those reports. Nor did your duty, Major. This is a difficult time for the Council. The war has reached a critical stage. Senior officers of the military elite must be utterly dependable, their powers of judgment beyond question. His poor wife. Calculus and Tarthon and she and Calvin. I'm more concerned about his children. Lover, in particular, she's going to be fond of the king. And what about the boy? Davros. It's hard to say who Davros is fond of. He's fond of him.
Master Davros, it's good to see you again. Your mother has told me how excited you are to begin these extracurricular tutorials.
He's very excited, aren't you, Davros?
This is my daughter, Magrantine. I doubt that you'd have met her before. She isn't what I'd call bookish. Yavel is in the academy.
I recognize the uniform.
You don't have to salute him, Yava. Magrantine is a civilian.
I know that. I'm not stupid.
Oh, you are. And whatever they're trying to teach you about being a soldier, you're not learning.
Delighted to meet you, Yavel. May I say what a credit both you and Master Davros are to your parents? One a member of the military youth, the other a child prodigy. You must be a mid-slip now, okay?
Stop patronizing me, Magrantine. Now, I'm due to attend an urgent meeting at the House of Congress. Let me have a daily report to show how Davros is getting on. I want to ensure that my money is being well spent. Come along, Yavel. Your brother will be keen to make a start on his lessons.
Well then, my boy, first things first. I'll give you a guided tour of the education complex, after which we can discuss the syllabus. How does that sound?
I don't care what we do, Magnantine, and I'm not your boy.
Dashek! That noise is still there! Dashek!
I'm here, Nasgard. What noise?
Same noise, listen.
I've been away for some time. The house is strange.
Why it's acting like I don't have sensitivity. I must have something running that shouldn't be.
You think I'm imagining it? You think I'm going mad?
I think you're ill, Nasgard.
There's nothing wrong with me. They're all conspiring to make me believe I'm ill when I'm not. Calculus, Brogan, the military elite. No, you! I don't like to trust my own sister.
You're ill. You've been ill for many years. Since before Davros was born.
There you are, you see? See? Being ill didn't prevent me from siring a healthy child. You can't deny that Davros is healthy.
Davros is perfectly healthy. But you didn't sire him. You couldn't have.
What are you talking about? He's my son.
Davros isn't your biological son, Nasgard. The poisons in your body had already done their work when he was conceived. You were incapable of producing any more children by then. I saw your medical records when I was a nurse. The evidence was conclusive. You were sterile.
No, you're lying. Always hated calculus.
She's always known that I know. That's why she resents me so much.
Why are you telling me this? Why are you lying to me?
Perhaps I do hate her for never having had the courage to tell you the truth. For putting Davros ahead of Yavel at every opportunity. For making me feel guilty that I knew her secret.
There it is again, that noise. You must be able to hear it.
There is something.
It isn't my imagination. You wouldn't believe me?
It's coming from this part of the room.
Check the communicator booth. Calculus was in there last night and may have left the unit switched on.
What a senseless waste of power. You really must speak to your wife about saving valuable energy. She may be able to make a speech in the House of Congress. She knows nothing about home economics.
If you know so much about what happened 16 years ago, you must have some idea who the father is.
Strange. I've never seen a communicator that looked like this before.
Dashek. It isn't a communicator.
And this, Master Davros, is the center of my world, where the impossible is made possible. My laboratory. The classroom, where you'll be spending much of your study time, is next door, where I can keep an eye on you.
I will not be patronised, Magnantine, any more than my mother. I've no desire to attend these lessons, but while I'm compelled to do so, you won't have to watch me every second of the day. I shall do as I'm instructed.
It's your mother's wish that the syllabus be tailored to your particular interests. Perhaps you would care to tell me what those interests are. I've taught a wide range of subjects to a great many students during my career. The decision is yours.
What's that?
A radiation chamber, by means of which I can analyze the effect of different levels of radioactivity on a variety of materials. Animal, mineral, or vegetable, animate or inanimate, alive or dead. No laboratory should be without one. It's a use of equipment, otherwise I'd let you see it somewhere.
You experiment on living creatures.
You disapprove?
I find it interesting, fascinating, that a living creature would subject itself voluntarily to such
Why is it
dangerous
doing it?
experimentation.
Sorry.
Knowing that it would die.
I doubt that any of the specimens used in my experiments would agree to participate if they were a choice. In the interests of science, I do not offer one.
Every sentient being has the right to live.
Of course. But a scientist must keep his emotions and his work separate from each other. Most of the great discoveries throughout history were made with some pain and suffering. Nothing matters more than the truth, fact, reality. Sacrifices must be made in the search for scientific enlightenment. Are you ready to make sacrifices?
I'm so sorry, Eva. They must have been in the center of the blast. There's nothing left. They wouldn't have suffered.
I can't believe my father's dead. God would want to kill him.
Colonel Nasraj was a soldier. Millions of Thars would have wanted to kill him. And eventually it came.
Maybe they weren't in the house. That's why they wouldn't be found.
Your father's ID chip registered examinations. Tashek's did the same. A scout party was sent to the house straight away. Too late.
The people who did this won't pay for their crime, Major Brogan.
The cycle of violence continues, each opponent seeking to avenge what the other has done. Round and round until there's no one left to fight.
My father is dead. I have to strike back.
Better ways to strike back. The best of them is not to strike at all.
Be careful, Major. You're beginning to sound like a pacifist.
We prefer to call ourselves peace activists. I prefer to think of myself as a soldier with a conscience.
Destroyed, reduced to matchwood. Your father and Tashek are horribly murdered. It's a good thing we left when we did, my sweet. Otherwise, the tragedy could have been far worse. You do realize there's nothing to go back to the League for now. We must make our home here in the city.
May I return to my studies? I wish to be present when Magnantine opens the radiation chamber.
Of course. Work is by far the best antidote to grief. Try not to dwell upon our loss.
Thank you, Mother.
Calcula, I've just heard the terrible news. You must be devastated.
I'm in pieces, Counselor. Not as many as my late husband, perhaps, but pieces nonetheless.
Farm missiles have fallen near the lake. We'd have known about them. It's clear to me that the explosive device was meant for you, planted somewhere inside the house.
I shudder to think of the fate my children and I have only narrowly avoided. I've always thought we were too vulnerable there. Davos and I should be better protected.
And Yovel.
And yet,
How is Davos?
very upset, as you can imagine. He misses his father almost as much as I do.
Master Davos, you are here.
I was reading up on some of your old experiments. This plant life is unknown to me.
I'm not really sure that should interest you.
I understood I was to choose the syllabus, but I would choose what does and does not interest me. These mutated plants interest me.
They were deemed dangerous by the councillors a few years ago.
Then they were fools. There is a lot of potential in these.
I thought so too, but I obey my orders, which were to destroy the plants.
But, if I understand your notes, even with the strange code you have written in, and that has only taken me a couple of hours to break, not very secure, you disobeyed your orders.
I feel I must offer you my most heartfelt condolences on the untimely death of
Oh,
your
very well, forget the plants. Perhaps instead we could continue with the experiment, Magrantine. I'm anxious to know if anything has survived in the radiation chamber.
My word, you are keen. The system is cool, but the door is open. Please, step this way. Master Davos.
Odor.
Odor. Oh, the scorched flesh. They won't bite, you know. Those of them who still have teeth.
Do you mean? What have you done with the specimens?
Prolonged exposure to radioactivity may cause some side effects. Some alteration to the genetic makeup, some small amount of mutation, both internal and external.
But they survive.
Alas, not always. Not often, in fact. And certainly not for long.
Then it's impossible to know what the ultimate form of such a mutation would take. The end result of such an evolution.
Evolution? Yes. I never thought of it in that way. You're right. Mutation. Evolution by another name, yes. You're right.
Mother is anxious that I should learn. You must teach me.
Would you prefer to wait here while I check inside the chamber? The effects of the radiation are a little, shall we say, unpredictable.
Certainly not. I wish to see the results of this test for myself.
Very good. After you, Master Davros.
Mother, what are you doing in your apartment? You should be with your platoon.
I've been excused for the day because of the news about father. The platoon leader was very sympathetic.
Soft in the head, you mean? You put your uniform back on. You are not skulking around in here. You're going outside to face the world. Put it back on this instant. I won't tolerate such behavior.
You don't seem upset that father's dead.
I refuse to show it. That's all. In my profession, the display of any emotion is interpreted as a sign of weakness. Of course I'm upset, but I'll grieve in my own way. I won't allow those who committed this atrocity to have the satisfaction of knowing how deeply it affects us. You should do the same.
We know who killed them. It was the Thals. They must have found out that the house belonged to a senior officer of the military elite.
It wasn't a missile, and the Thals haven't penetrated that far across the border. No. The truth lies elsewhere, closer to home.
How close to home?
Very.
Are you trying to suggest that one of us planted a bomb? Father and Tasha wouldn't have blown themselves up. We were the only people there.
And Major Brogan. Don't forget Major Brogan.
No, Mother, you're wrong. Major Brogan wouldn't do a thing like that.
Oh, you're so trusting, Lavelle. You don't know that he wouldn't do a thing like that. For all you know, he could be a dangerous spy.
He's a peace activist. He doesn't want to kill anyone.
A peace activist in the military elite, is he indeed? How terribly bizarre.
Major Brogan is a good man.
A persuasive, manipulative man who can easily cast a spell on impressionable young women.
If he'd really wanted to kill father, he could have left him for dead in the wilderness. His body would never have been found. No one would have been any the wiser.
He didn't want to just kill your father, Yarville. Don't you understand, you stupid child? He wanted to kill all of us, the whole family, including you.
Counselor, Major Brogan, one of our missiles has been launched into a densely populated area of Thal territory.
The council gave no order for such a launch.
It seems to be a programmed response to the fact that a similar missile is heading in our direction on an almost identical trajectory.
I presume it's not a nuclear missile.
Not this time, Counselor, but it'll still pack a punch when it lands.
We should count our blessings. The latest results from Magrantine's radiation chamber were delivered to me a short while ago. They make for uncomfortable reading.
If I were you, I'd follow the rest of the House of Congress into the shelters.
I'm fine where I am, Major. Any idea where the tower is likely to be?
The figures indicate somewhere east of the center, in the vicinity of the education complex.
That's even bigger.
Education complex? Are you sure?
Too close for comfort, I agree.
Just stand there, Major Brogan. Davros is inside the education complex.
What the heck is going on?
Help me, Master Davros. I can't move.
Stay calm, Magantine.
Get this thing off me.
Trying to. It's heavy. Almost there. Give me your hand. Quickly, before the rest of the wall collapses.
Thank you.
Are you alright?
I think so. No bones broken. It doesn't look much like a classroom anymore.
There'll be a rescue party. We'd better find them. Let them know we're safe.
I'm not waiting for the next missile to hit us. Let's get as far away from this place as we can. Come on. Master Davros, come on.
Casualties are minimal, Counselor.
Yeah,
A few
short
buildings
hand.
were damaged. We may not be safe any time.
No doubt about it, Major. We must prepare ourselves. This was little more than a rehearsal, a warning. The attack to come will be on a much larger scale.
Global, I suspect, Counselor.
The Council has given thought to the construction of a protective dome for our city. If a nuclear strike does go ahead, we hope there'll be something left that is worth
What news, my son?
nothing as yet, Captain. All I can tell you is that Davros was seen leaving the education complex shortly after the explosion. He appeared to be home.
Then,
He was with Magritte.
at least he's in safe hands. I blame you, Major Gordon. You should have made your priority to evacuate the education complex. Our children are the future of Sparrow.
My orders were to evacuate the House of Congress before anything else.
You're a senior officer in the military elite now, Major, since you proposed my husband. You should act like a senior officer and make the orders instead of merely following them.
If you'll excuse me, Counselor, I'd better supervise the rest of the operation.
Of course, Major. It's unfair of you, Calcula. His hands are tied.
Was it? Are they? I gather the Morgan team supplied the council information about the local effects of radioactive phenomena.
News travels fast.
It does in the House of Congress, Council, as you well know. Now, is there something we should know, something we're not telling us? Now, wise not to place complete trust in that man. There's a great deal more to him than meets the eye.
Magritte?
Major Bergen,
Who says I don't trust him?
you trust in my words. As a senior officer of military element, of course, he's trusted. But it must be difficult for a soldier to balance his loyalty to the council with such a strongly held
See what the client thinks.
You're making sense, Calcula.
Perhaps I'm speaking out of turn.
Speak.
You disagree with him as a peace activist. I'm sure he would have informed you.
No. He hasn't informed me. It's the first I've heard of it.
That's all.
Alright, well, I guess I'll just pause this for now and come back if I need to add more.